Hello and welcome to the 7th module of the unit devoted to the instrumental approach in the project ICMAI Awardees Multimedia Online Resources. I prepared it jointly with Mahabou, Mariam Aspekian and Luc Trouche. In the two previous modules, I presented the extension of the instrumental approach to new types of technology, spreadsheet and dynamic geometry systems. In this module, I consider another crucial extension linked to the move of the lens from the student to the teacher. This extension, in fact, began quite early with the idea of instrumental orchestration conceptualized by Luc Trouche in his habilitation document in 2003. Following this habilitation, in an article published in 2005 in the journal Recherche en Didactique des Mathématiques, he introduces this concept in the following terms. An instrumental orchestration is exactly the systematic arrangement by an intentional agent of the elements, artifacts, and humans of an environment in order to implement a given situation and more generally to guide learners in their instrumental genesis and in the evolution and balancing of their systems of instruments. In this conceptualization, the word systematic and intentional are important. As Trouche points out, an instrumental orchestration does not describe an existing arrangement. There is always one, but indicates the need for an a priori thought of such an arrangement. An instrumental orchestration, in fact, is defined by two components and their interactions. Didactic configurations, that is, arrangement of environmental artifacts corresponding to each phase of a situation, and exploitation modes of this configuration to achieve the agent goals in the given situation. An example of instrumental orchestration often used to illustrate this concept is the one known as Sherpa Student, already evoked in Module 4. In this particular case, to support the collective steering of instrumental work and the sharing of instrumental genesis, the didactical configuration includes a class equipped with calculators and a specific artifact, the view screen, allowing the projection of the screen of a calculator to the whole class. Exploitation modes were based on the devolution of a specific role to one student, the Sherpa student, piloting the projected calculator in front of the class to show her work or carry out actions asked for by the teachers. This is illustrated in this picture by Luc Trouche. Of course, the Sherpa student instrumental orchestration can take different forms according to the technology used by students and the projection facilities, and also according to the precise roles given to the Sherpa student. In collaboration with other researchers, and especially Paul Drivers from the Freudenthal Institute in the Netherlands, Trouche further developed the concept. Drivers added a third component, a didactical performance, to include in the picture the many ad hoc decisions taken in the actual exploitations of didactical configurations. Different forms of instrumental orchestration were also identified, such as technical demo, discuss the screen, spot and show, beyond the paradigmatic Sherpa student one. And they were used productively to analyze teaching practices and professional development in digital environments. The extension to the teacher took a complementary direction with the idea of double instrumental genesis that I introduced jointly with Maria Maspekian. Contrary to what had been the case in the work with CAS I presented in the first modules, in the didactical engineering developed for her doctoral thesis, Mariam worked with a teacher rather novice in the use of spreadsheet. This context attracted our attention to the fact that regarding the teacher, two distinct but intertwined instrumental genesis were at stake. A personal genesis, transforming the spreadsheet artifact into a mathematical instrument, a tool for personal mathematical work, and a professional genesis, transforming the spreadsheet artifact into a didactic instrument, in this particular case, a tool for teaching algebra. This distinction made clear the existence of processes of different nature, despite their interdependency. The professional instrumental genesis, for instance, required to create didactic functionalities not predefined for the spreadsheet artifact. This on the instrumentalization side. On the instrumentation side, it required to develop new didactic schemes and techniques to exploit these functionalities and to pilot students' instrumental genesis. Rapidly, a new context confirms the interest of such a distinction, a large-scale project with the region Île-de-France, starting in 2003, in which high schools from socially disadvantaged areas were offered free access to systems of online tutorial resources. This project regarded grade 10 students, and online resources could be used in classroom lessons or at home. Contrary to what was the case with CAS, with spreadsheet or DGS, these technologies included a didactic model. Through the way they structure and presented mathematical contents, the sequencing of tasks they proposed to students, the evaluation made of their answers, the feedback sent to the students. For teachers, integrating these tutorial resources into their didactic project raised new questions and challenges, conditioning the processes of professional instrumental genesis and confirming the necessity of a specific conceptualization for addressing teacher instrumental genesis. A new national project, the GUP10 project, Genesis of Professional Use of Technologies by Teachers, starting in 2005, played then a major role in this conceptualization process. This was a national multidisciplinary project piloted by Jean-Baptiste Lagrange. Thanks to it, the connection between the instrumental approach and the double approach, didactic and ergonomic of teaching practices initiated by Aline Robert and Janine Rogalski in 2002, that Myriam Maspekian had also introduced in her doctorate, this connection was reinforced. This reinforcement was fostered, in fact, by the fact that Maha Abou and Fabrice van der Broek, who jointly coordinated an axis of the project, respectively used the double approach and the instrumental approach. Their collaboration led to an integrated theoretical perspective based on activity theory. Activity theory at the basis of both Rabardel's perspective and the double approach. It also led to the concept of genesis of technology uses, enriching that of instrumental genesis. The reason for this enrichment was that teachers' activity combined the use of several instruments, digital or not. A point also at the origin of the concept of instrumental orchestration. And also the fact that the double approach makes clear that the analysis of teachers' instrumented practices cannot be isolated from a more global approach of their practices. The double approach, indeed, has shown that teachers' practices are coherent and stable objects. And it proposes for their analysis a model including 5 components. The 2 main ones are the cognitive and the mediatic components. They take into consideration the fact that 2 main types of channels are used by teachers for and during classroom activity. These are the organization of tasks prescribed to students, this is the cognitive component, and the direct interaction in classroom, the mediative component. The 3 last components correspond to different types of determinations of these 2 components: societal, institutional, and personal determinations. Moreover, the double approach distinguishes between 3 levels of practice organization, related both to the goals and temporality of the teaching activity. The micro level of automatisms and elementary gestures, of routines. The local level related to management issues and to teacher-student interactions in the classroom, and the global level referring to the preparation, progression, and scenarios. Considering these 3 levels and their interaction was helpful for understanding the exact nature of the perturbation of teachers' practices induced by the use of new digital artifacts and their reaction to these perturbations. One can hypothesize that when teachers start using a new artifact in class, they have neither sufficient routines for its efficient use at the micro level, nor a global view of a coherent teaching organization integrating this artifact at the macro level, and that this induces an overload at the local level requiring much improvisation. The many classroom observation carried out in the Gupten project validated this hypothesis and shows that this phenomenon of local overload was a source of recurrent difficulties for teachers. And facing these difficulties, teachers tended to rely first on their usual practices, especially routines developed in paper and pencil environment, but these were not necessarily adapted to the new technological context. Let me give a brief example with a teacher using GeoGebra with middle school students in a geometry lesson. Students were asked to build a figure with GeoGebra. And they had first to create 2 points, A and B, and to draw the circle with diameter AB, as shown on this slide. Surprisingly for the teacher, students met difficulties. And after 10 minutes, very few had completed this first step of the construction. To help them, the teacher suggested, remember how you do it by hand, but without success. Thus, she moved from group to group, explaining to each of them how to draw the circle with GeoGebra. A lot of time was spent just for this first step. In fact, as shown by the first help she proposed, this teacher did not seem sensitive to the distance existing between the paper and pencil technique familiar to the students, taking the ruler, measuring the length of the segment, dividing to find the middle and center of the circle, and the GeoGebra technique. Also, she did not have a routine less costly than going from group to group to solve students' difficulties. Regularly, as shown by research, such difficulties led teachers to reduce the use of digital artifacts, at least their interactive use with students. However, the observations carried out in the Gupten project also showed that some teachers progressively adapted their practices along genesis of technology use, combining two parallel movements, from the local level to the global level, and from the local level to the micro level. The first movement mainly touches the cognitive component of practices, while the second mainly touches the mediative component. I cannot enter into details. Just say that this second movement is particularly related to the instrumental genesis of specific artifacts by teachers. As observed, these allow teachers to better anticipate and diagnose students' difficulty with the artifact, to better interpret feedback or surprising phenomena at the interface, and thus to propose more effective help, individually or collectively. They lead to new routines that help teachers maintain the global dynamics of the situation, contrary to what was observed in the example I just mentioned. Hence, the hypothesis that these movements, which reduce the overload experience at the local level, are at the root of the stabilization of classroom use. It can also be hypothesized that such experiences will help teachers manage the new overload inevitably generated by the further introduction of new artifacts in the teaching environment. The Gupten project also led to extend in some sense the notion of personal and professional instrumental genesis mentioned above, through the notions of personal and professional genesis of use. This was first introduced by Mahabou and Jean-Baptiste Lagrange and further elaborated by Mahabou. The notion of personal genesis of use incorporates all processes of genesis at stake in the teacher's professional sphere for personal use, without her having necessarily in mind any didactic intentionality of plan. For instance, genesis required by the fact that you become a user of the internet, of research engines, and so on. The professional genesis is divided into two components, referring respectively to the genesis at stake in private professional use, when technology is privately used with a professional purpose, and in public professional use, when technology is actually used with students in the classroom. These extensions allows us to better take into account the technological evolution and the increasing use in school of technologies first used by teachers in their private sphere. It also allows research to better take into account the fact that private professional use of technology is a first but a notable step in teacher professional development, whose importance should not be underestimated. In this module, I have just presented some aspects of the extension of the instrumental approach to the teacher. Along the last decade, this conceptualization have been progressively enriched. Other constructions have also entered the scene, such as the integration of a technological and instrumental dimension into models of teacher knowledge, such as the pedagogical technological knowledge model proposed by Mike Thomas, or the documentational approach to didactics initiated by Ghislaine Godet and Luc Trouche, which has extended the instrumental approach to the documentational activity of teacher. There is no doubt that when the instrumental approach emerged, we did not suspect that we were opening the door to such a rich landscape. Thank you.